Is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, good morning, good day, of course, depending upon where you are in the world. Welcome to Turn Green Screens into Automation, a webinar on how to remove manual data entry through the use of an IBM native fully automated virtual terminal. Today, we're going to give you an insight into how business use these technologies to improve both accuracy and speed of formally manual processes for saving time, money, and data integrity. This all sounds rather good. My name is Andrew Nicholson, and I'll be your host for the next 30 minutes. I'm joined by Steve Close, Technical Director of Utilities 400, and Jacqueline Jeffrey of Eclipse Blind.
Hello.
Now, yes.
Hello.
Steve will be providing a demonstration of the technology, while Jacqueline will discuss how they've benefited from implementing the technology within their enterprise. So again, welcome to the webinar, both Steve and Jacqueline. I'll just mute you there, Jacqueline. I'll bring her back in good time. Now, before we start, a bit of housekeeping. Should you have any questions or require additional information on anything you see during the webinar, please use the GoToWebinar Management Console that should be hovering somewhere on the right-hand side of your screen. Now, within that console, you'll find a Questions tab. If I can ask you to enter your questions here, we'll have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. So here's what we're going to see during today's session. First, we're going to set the scene and discuss why we're here. Now, each business will have their own data quality or data input issues, and we'll summarize these in this session. With the scene set, we'll move on to how to resolve these issues and improve your situation through the introduction of reliable, automated technologies that are designed for your IBM enterprise. Next, we'll introduce you again to Jacqueline Jeffrey, IT Manager for Eclipse Blinds. Jacqueline experienced the very same data input problems, and she'll provide practical examples on how they implemented technologies from Utilities 400 to remove the dependency on manual data entry and give you an insight into the benefits they've gained from doing this. Now, building on the examples given by Jacqueline, we'll provide you with a live demonstration of the solution Eclipse used. IKEA. Now, no, this is not flat pack furniture, but more on that later. We'll show you how easy it is to set up and how it could work within your IBM enterprise. Finally, before closing the webinar, we'll hold a question and answer session. So again, if you do have any questions, please do add them to the management console anytime during this webinar. Now, we are recording this webinar, so if you feel you'd like to recap on any of the parts or you would like to share what you've learned with a colleague, no problem. A link to the recording will be sent to your inbox a day after this event. Okay then, pull up your chair and clasp that hot coffee as we're going to begin in earnest. Pilot error, the fundamental problem within manual data input. We are human, and unfortunately humans can make mistakes. When we have a report, invoice, or any other document that needs to be manually entered into the system for that matter, we all have the potential to input that data wrong. We misread documents, hit the wrong key, enter the wrong details in the wrong cell, just a few typos, misspelled data, or incorrect interpretations of data re-entry could be extremely costly to your business. We're easily distracted. When inputting repetitive, monotonous data, employees can often become disengaged and unable to fully focus on the task at hand. Even when fully engaged, an average human typing speed is about 40 words per minute. As such, data entry can become a lengthy, slow process that can often take several minutes per document, so hours or days of manual processing depending upon the task. Speaking of which, if tasks are taking many hours of the day, do we really want our most valued resource to be wasted on data entry? Well, let's take a look at some figures. Let's say that we're an SME that spends a total of just over 1 day per week completing manual data entry tasks. This day is spread across, say, 6 employees from different departments, including accounts, warehouse, quality, manufacturing, and even IT. And in fact, looking at the graphic here, it looks like Donald Trump is involved in this process too. Now, on average, each employee is completing about 30 minutes of input per day. So across the business, we're looking at about 3 hours per day. That's not too unreasonable, I would suggest. You may even think that these numbers are a conservative estimate, but let's add it up very simply so you can apply the same principles to your own business. So if my sums are right, in total for the 6 employees, we're looking at about 15 hours per week of manual data entry. And let's just say, for example, they're on minimum wage. That's £7.50 in English money times 15 hours, so £112 per week or £450 per month. In total then, we're looking at a human resource spend of about over £5,000 per year, just to maintain the status quo. And this, I would suggest, will be a conservative estimate. Now, I wonder what the cost would be like in your business. And these outgoings do not account for the cost of data quality and the underlying costs these would apply to your business. You see, quality errors come in many guises. A report commissioned by Experian found that the most common data entry encountered in businesses come in the form of incomplete or missing data, with outdated, duplicated and typo errors coming in at second and fourth respectively. Each represent a real cost to the business depending upon the nature and significance of the error. And I wonder, how would a data quality error such as these impact a process or department within your business? What is the real cost of these manual processes for you, and how do they impact your day-to-day operation? What would it mean if your business could replace excessive human resource and repurpose this resource for less menial tasks? What if manual processes were replaced with automated procedures that ran 24/7, 365 days a year? And in that process, we could speed up the data input tasks exponentially, all without sacrificing data quality, indeed improve it greatly. Ask, what would this mean for your business? We believe that replacing manual data input would remove these problems. But how do we go about gaining these automation benefits? What would we need? Well, first and foremost, we need a system fit for our enterprise systems. Therefore, our first stipulation is that it be an IBM native solution. Secondly, we need a solution that provides intelligence. Not just a dumb terminal following a series of instructions, a solution that will read the screen, just like a human would. Then, depending upon what's displayed, act accordingly. But intelligence shouldn't mean that it's overly complicated, and it needs an expert coder just to be implemented and maintained. No, it should have the ability to record input sessions for quick setup, then have the functionality to edit these sessions, to add rules and parameters via an intuitive and effortless script. And all this technology should be affordable with quick returns on investment, because let's face it, this solution must address all the issues and add value to constitute an easy business decision. As an IBM stalwart and technology innovator, Utilities 400 have a long history in developing solutions for their customers' needs. IKEA is no exception in this area. And to answer that question regarding its name, no, this particular IKEA has nothing to do with Swedish furniture or flat pack goods, but it does do exactly what it says on the tin. It keys data into the eye. Look at IKEA as a virtual terminal that uses a robot instead of a human resource to enter all the data into the green screen. And being a robot, it brings with it the performance and automation benefits, offering the input potential of many humans. But it adds the intelligence needed to read the screen and make decisions based upon what it sees. Because as you enter data into the green screen, the program responds and displays data, a window or new screen depending upon what's been entered. So let's say we're entering data from an invoice we've received into our ERP. No problem. Until we realize that that data we received is in the Date American format. So on submission, a pop-up window will be displayed with, say, input value field not recognized or some kind of text that is equally helpful. Now, we'd hope that a human will be able to pick this up. And with the modicum of intelligence, with only a modicum of intelligence, be able to turn the day and month input characters around to reflect the UK date time formatting. With IKEA, you get this same intelligence. We're able to look and accommodate for these idiosyncrasies, be it a date range, an existence check, or some other variable. We can add intelligence that will automatically correct, or depending upon the error displayed on the screen, will correct or add the appropriate data or commands accordingly. We'll show you how this works very soon. But first, I want to give you some practical examples on how it's helped other IBM enterprises solve their data input woes. Now, we've covered statements and reports creation in the previous webinar using our product Route 1. Please check this on our YouTube channel. But of equal importance is the ability to be able to accept these reports and statements and enter these into your IBM enterprise with complete confidence and without user interference. Then there are those fiddly bill of materials that are output from our CAD system, printed out, then manually entered into the ERP. Automating these processes can not only save time, but quite frankly, people's sanity. Then how about those goods received notes that are always left to the next day or when someone has time? Never a priority until we're looking for the items in question. IKEA takes the pain away and makes sure the information is entered and available when it's needed. And within production, where we're moving an item from one area to the next when completed via a barcode scan. We can read the inputs from the barcode and automatically enter these values into the system immediately, enabling a real-time Kanban process. Okay, so it's all well and good, me telling you how other businesses use it. But we're lucky enough today to have Jacqueline Jeffrey, IT Manager for Eclipse Appliance, on the line. So please allow me to pass you over to her so she can explain how Eclipse have used this technology to improve data accuracy, improve processes, and save money. Jacqueline, let me just unmute you there, and you're back in the room. Welcome back to the webinar, Jacqueline.
Thank you, Andy. So Eclipse, we're committed towards a path of continual improvement. The goal within our IT department is to deliver improved technologies, but not just for technology's sake. We have to prove that these will aid the business and provide greater efficiencies across multiple departments. As a department, IT provide Eclipse a service that delivers value for their investment in technology. And so we're looking at providing value for money through a measured return on investment. And it was with these principles in mind that we were always looking at areas where we can improve. The first area we looked at with this technology was our sales order processing. We had a good percentage of our orders going through our current website, but these were not integrated in any way to our IBM ERP system. So we needed to print the emails out, pass them across to an operator to key in manually. So with our sales order process clerk due to retire, we thought this was the perfect opportunity to investigate how we could improve this process. To save time and reduce the opportunity for input errors, we introduced iKeyer to these orders. iKeyer now acts as another operator in our team. They're one of the customer service operators. They process around 25% of our monthly order volume. This was a full-time job before for our clerk, and it is now saving us approximately £16,000 per year just with this one task alone. We then looked at other areas in our business where we had operators doing repetitive tasks that could be handed to IKEA. Just to give you a different example, we have a fabric cutting department, service team. They spend all day cutting orders to the length required by the customer. And whenever they come across a fault in the fabric, this part of the fabric is cut off, and then the scrap is recorded manually on a notepad at the site. Then on completion of the shift, one of the team would normally then update the system with the stock changes. We now have a facility within that area to record, log and store all the measured scrap details. And iKeyer detects when we have these new details arrive, and all the scrap and fabric is booked out automatically. So through the introduction of this system, we've improved our stock accuracy throughout the day and minimised the chance of errors as the stock quantities are being taken direct from the measuring wheel on the table rather than written down and keyed in manually. Our final example is within our blind production environment. Each day we're processing several hundred orders. All the blinds orders are a standard build, and we build to what we call a manufacturing order. That contains elements such as a bill of materials, design and production specification. This manufacturing order links with the corresponding sales order, and once the blinds have been built, in order to dispatch them, the manufacturing order needs to be reported. This process creates a backflush report for each blind that's manufactured. To try and give you a better perspective on the data entry requirements, each order has to go through about 3 screens worth of information within the manufacturing backflush report, and all of this had to be done manually each day. So as you can imagine, this was quite a time-consuming and very repetitive process. We worked with Utilities 400 through the examples on how we report with the backflushing of the materials used. And with the introduction of iKeyer, the backflushing is processed automatically at the start of each day. For each and every blind order, iKeyer works through the production schedule, reports and backflushes the orders, and this saves the team more than 7 hours per week. So in summary, with the two areas we looked at, we're approximately saving £20,000 a year in just human resource alone. But just as important as that is the improved efficiencies in the key areas of the business. Providing much more improved data accuracy and quality, iKeyer has become an important part of our IT strategy. Running parallel with Iroute, iKeyer is just integral technology that helps support continual improvement through just improving the solutions. I'm sure that any business running an IBM iSeries would see an immediate benefit from using these solutions.
Thank you very much.
Over to you, Andy.
Yeah, but no, that's perfect. Thanks for that insight into how IKEA has helped solve many problems within your business and saving you money. Please stick around, though, Jacqueline, as we may have some questions that you can help answer at the end of this webinar. Now, before we go into the demonstration, Jacqueline mentioned another solution from our portfolio there, Iroute. Now, while IKEA is our virtual terminal to input data on the IBM I, we have a companion product called Iroute that will import multiple file types from many different sources for automated pass with validation to your IBM I enterprise systems. It acts as a conduit between your external data sources and your IBM I, polling FTP directories, network and remote locations, scanning emails for particular attachments or text depending upon the file or instance. It will pass this data to the IBM I for input into your enterprise system, either directly or via IKEA. Iroute will integrate with a wide range of file formats and database types, including PDFs, XMLs, XLSs, CSVs, SQLs, Access databases. I don't have enough breath to finish this sentence, but we have a full session of this coming up soon. So if you are interested, next month, on the 15th of November, we have the data integration side of things, which is a webinar. Please join us for what is going to be a fascinating insight into how to port multiple file types from multiple locations to your IBM I enterprise. An invitation to this event will be sent to your inbox alongside the link to the recording of this webinar. However, today we are concentrating on getting that data into your enterprise system using the most well-used and universally loved IBM I integration solution, that of the green screen. So what do we do when we have the data on the box? Now we understand the problems. We have a fundamental appreciation of the technologies and how businesses like yours have used them to improve processes, gain better data accuracy and save money. But how easy is the technology to implement? Well, to close our webinar off before the Q&A session, I'd like to introduce Steve Close, our Technical Director at Utilities 400, to give you some insight into this area. So, Steve, it's going to be over to you, but I need to switch the machine over to your computer.
Okay.
So I shall make you the presenter there.
Okay. To maximise that.
Okay, go ahead.
Right. Hello everyone. I'm going to show you how we can automate one of the most common green screen applications. That's order entry, one probably everybody is familiar with. Let me just start by showing you a little bit of the application itself. So if I'm a user on the iSeries, I would either type sales menu, or it would be my initial menu. Then I would type option 1. I'm going to create a sales order. Then I would enter the customer number. In this case, it's 041. Okay, so that's the application to come back with the invoice address. I need to type in the delivery address, UTI 400, Bolton, and the date of the order down here, 25/10/17, and the delivery date I require, 17. Press enter. I can then enter some delivery instructions. Please deliver quickly. And then I'll enter all the items that I'm going to put on the order. Okay, this is the process that we're actually going to automate. So if I just come out of that, this script, to automate this, you create it within IKEA what we call it a script. Now normally a script would read a file. In this case it's going to read a file called Purch Order X in library Iroute demo. And this file has actually been created by the Iroute product that Andy mentioned previously. It's read an XML document from a customer and it's created a flat file on the iSeries. Just to give you a quick look at what that file looks like, if I do a quick query on it, I'll try not to say quick again. Okay, so you see this is a flat file. Okay, we in this case put all the header fields on every row on the file. You don't need to do that. IKEA can read multiple files, so it can process a header file with the order header fields on, and then go and read the order lines from a separate file for the matching details. So you see I've got here the items I'm going to buy, the quantities, and the prices, which has come from the XML document. So let me show you quickly what a script actually looks like to do the processing of this task. If I go into the product, I'm going to option 6, work with scripts, and if I position to one called new order. Now as you can see in this case we've created our scripts in text files on the iSeries. That means you can use SCU to edit it quite easily, or you can use any other text editor that you wish to do so. Any text file will do. So this is now what a script looks like. Okay, now the first line is telling IKEA to sign on with a profile name. So within IKEA you've created a profile. In there it's got your user profile name you want to use and the password. Then I've defined the file name I'm going to use, iRoute demo / Purch Order X. I've also created a log file, an audit log. I'm not going to take much too many details about it. Basically I'm telling you what to log to the key of the file is going to log. Now this is quite interesting. This is when you log on to the iSeries green screen, you'll normally get a screen that says something like, display program messages or a couple of other information screens before you actually get where you want to do. So what this is saying is if the screen on line 1 position 39 does not say main, I'm trying to get to the main menu, then press enter and go back to screen owner. So a little loop that's going around. Then after that, this is where it's doing what I've done before. So it's set screen, line 20, position 7, sales menu. So that puts sales menu into the screen buffer, and then it presses enter. And then I've put option 1 into the menu and pressed enter. Then I've read the record from the file, and this is where I've started putting the fields into the file now. So that's pretty straightforward for the header information. If I go down here, for the detailed information, as it reads the records from the file, I've created a count, so it's adding one for the count every time it reads the record. So I'm saying to fill the subfile, i.e. for all the line details, instead if count equals 1, basically put the product quantity unit price onto line 10. If it's equal to 2, put it onto line 11. equal to 3, line 12, etc. See, I've said file data, the field names, says that field names come from the file. Comma 4 means that it's going to edit the information when it puts it onto the screen, put a full stop in it and a minus sign if necessary. That's a very quick look at what the script would look like. Okay, if I want to run that script now, I can run it with a command. So you can put it into your own programs, post-processing from Iroute or any other upload tool. So my file is called logic, and it's in a library called UTIEM demo. And the member I'm going to run is that one I've just shown you, new order. So that's going to read the file and key the details into the script. If I get it right, if I spelled UTIEM demo right. Just proves it's got a bit of validation in the product. Okay, so you see that's keyed that in pretty quickly. In like a second, it's keyed the order into the machine. Return code 00 is what you always want to see. So that means one record processed okay. That actually means one order has been processed okay. So if you ever find any errors in your script, whatever process calls it needs to check the return to make sure everything's okay. That data is also put into a data area QTemp, so you can recover it from there as well. Now, within IKEA, you can replay exactly what the scripts have done. So if I go into history, number 4, see that's the one I've just run there, 15, 24, 25th and the 10th. If I just show you what happens. So basically this is showing me the screens that were displayed now. So what I talked about before, it's got previous sign-on screen. Then when I press enter, it tells me up the top what action happened. So when that screen was displayed, IKEA pressed enter. It got to the main menu, so it's happy with that. Then we keyed in sales menu like I did manually and pressed enter. Got to this menu, typed in option 1, pressed enter. Got to the customer number, keyed in 041. Keyed in the delivery address from the file, keyed in the dates and the order reference from the file. Got to this stage here, keyed in the instructions between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock, which just came through on the XML document. And now I've got to the subfile, press enter, and it's gone around that little loop, reading 9 records from the file. Line 1 there, line 2, line 3. My application now, when I press enter, it goes to the file and validates them obviously and puts the text back in there so the user can verify what the descriptions are normally. Obviously in an automated world that doesn't really matter too much. Then I press enter and it says now the key presses F8, i.e. the application wants me to press F8 to confirm. Sorry, I pressed F8 on the screen by keyboard. I pressed enter. So now I get a completion screen. Again the script press F8, went back to the menu, back to the command line, type sign off, and that's the end of the script. So it's logged on, run the script and keyed in order. So from the minute an XML order arrives, upload to the iSeries, keyed into your ERP system, normally takes about 2 or 3 seconds in total. Now, whilst I believe it's quite important to learn the scripting language that I showed you on there, it's not really necessary. You can get the product to do it for you to more or less extent. You can do it completely actually. If I just quickly show you what I mean. If I take option 5 here, capture session, generate a script. What I'm going to do now, first of all, it tells me which file and library I'm going to put my text into, my script text into. I just need to give it a member name, so I call this demo 171025. So it's going to, as I generate the script, it's going to write it into there. Now when I sign on with my own username and password, it's looked through the IKEA list of profiles, see which one's got Steve against it, so it's put that into the script. Now, as I'm typing these things in to get to where I want to do, it's remembering what I've typed where and generated the script statements to do it. Okay, so I've typed in 041. I'm not going to go through the whole process, just show you what I mean. So if I say my delivery address is utilities 400, Bolton, England. Put my order date down here again like I did before, 25/10/17. My delivery date 10/11/17. Order reference is Steve. So okay, now I get to instruction 1, deliver ASAP. Okay, I'm not going to type loads of products in there, but you see that's what I mean. So if I do F3 now, come out of the application, come out and sign off, then I press F17, which takes me out of generate script mode, and now it shows you the script that it has generated here. Okay, so it says sign on. So my profile within IKEA has got allocation for me. Come around that loop and it's typed in what I keyed in on the screen. So you've got all the screen coordinates right, and all you need to do is go back and put the file statement in and change those to the field names from the file. Although you can automate that as well if you want to, a little bit more work up front. So you can get it either do the lion's share of the work, or with a bit more work up front, it will do all the work for you. Back over to Andy.
Thank you very much, Steve. I'll just show my screen again. Okay. So thank you, Steve, for that demonstration, and thank you for Jacqueline too for providing us with some real insight into how businesses use these technologies. Now we're at our half hour, and we've covered much in this half hour session too. We've learned the pitfalls of manual data entry and why automation in this area should be top of your IT agenda. We've discussed how we could resolve these issues and improve the situation through the introduction of reliable automated technologies that are designed for the IBM I enterprise. We've introduced you to Jacqueline Jeffrey of Eclipse Blinds, who provided practical examples on why they've implemented IKEA virtual terminal technology to remove a dependency on manual data entry and the benefits they've gained from following this path. Building on these examples given by Jacqueline, Steve provided us with a live demonstration of how easy it is to set up and how it could work within your IBM Enterprise too. So before closing, we'll open up a Q&A session. I see a few questions have come in while we've been broadcasting. Thank you for doing this. Just one reminder, while we're compiling the questions, please do join us for Automating Data Entry. This is our IBM I webinar on the 15th of November that explores how to import, validate and parse multiple external files and database formats with your IBM I Enterprise using Iroute. If you found this webinar interesting, then this follow-up webinar will be a real treat. Keep an eye out for your invitation and our posts in social media. So, questions. I say I was compiling them. I was doing nothing of the sort. I was just reading out that part. I'll just go to the questions panel and see what we have here. Let me just take Jacqueline off mute in case one of these questions. Okay, first we have John Delaney. Does IKEA hold an audit trail of activity? Steve?
Yeah, it certainly does. As you saw in the demo, you can replay every single script that it's ever run through it. But as well as that as well, within your script you can put statements in that say, you know, this transaction worked, that transaction didn't work, this is what I want to log to a file, and it will write all those to an audit file. So you can use your own application if you want to monitor that audit file, see exactly what's happened, see what's not happened, if you like. So yeah, full audit trail of everything that happens in IKEA at a detail or a summary level.
Okay, and Simon Johnson asks, how does IKEA read the screens?
That's a bit of a trade secret. But basically, on the IBM I, there are a set of virtual terminal APIs. So basically, you open a screen session, which means programmatically it's doing exactly what you do when you log on to an IBM I. You give it a username profile, and then it starts returning screens to you. And then we read the screens, and we write back to the virtual terminal the keystrokes that we're generating. And then at the end, we close the terminal, and it ends the session, basically. Simplistic view, but that's what it does.
Perfect. Thank you for that question, Simon. A bit of a tongue twister. And Sushmita Royd, I hope I pronounced that right, Sushmita. What happens if you get an error in the application?
Well, that is a good question. That's the question we get asked most often when we go and do demos. What you need to do is in your script, you know, if you type in a customer number, when you press enter, it'll probably come with the back of the message that's the bottom screen says invalid customer number. If your applications do the normal SAA standard of always putting those on line 24, whenever you press enter, you should always check the contents of line 24 to see if there's an error. If so, then we flag that as an error within IKEA, so we're in the audit log as an error, and just basically you set a field to the error message that is from the screen. So when you look at the audit log, you can see error message 537. Customer number ABC123 is not valid, that kind of stuff. So you have to then decide what you're going to do with that.
Good stuff. Thomas Bull asks, can we have a trial of the product? Yes, yes,
absolutely.
But please do contact us for those details. So again, thank you very much for your questions. We're just running slightly over, but not too badly that you're going to miss out on anything in work, let's face it. So should you have any more questions, please do keep the conversation going by following us on social media. And we're at Utilities400 for Twitter, but search Utilities400 on LinkedIn for our group and on Facebook too for our company page. And we also have a YouTube channel as well with some of these videos and more in. More contact details and information can be found at our website. Thank you again for your time, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you at our next webinar. But for now, we'll wish you a very, very good day and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.